Your cat has an entire house, a soft bed, a quiet corner, a sunny patch on the floor, and yet at 3 a.m. they choose your chest, your pillow, or the narrow strip of mattress that leaves you clinging to the edge of your own bed. Most people think that means one simple thing: warmth. But that explanation is too small for what is really happening, because sleep is the most defenseless state in a cat's life. And when a creature built to survive by suspicion chooses to fall asleep on top of you, it is making a decision your brain was never designed to fully read. This is not just comfort. It is instinct, chemistry, memory, and trust layered together. And the final reason matters most, because when this habit suddenly disappears, it can mean something is wrong. So, stay with me to the end, because the last part is the one most cat owners understand too late. Part 1. You are a living heat source, but that's only the surface. Let's start with the obvious layer. Your body is warm. A cat's normal body temperature runs higher than ours, and staying warm costs energy. That is one reason cats love blankets, sun patches, laundry fresh from the dryer, and you. To your cat, your body is stable heat, predictable heat, safe heat. But here's where most owners stop thinking too soon. If warmth were the only goal, your cat could choose a heated bed, a blanket, or the quietest chair in the house. Many times those places are warmer than your shoulder or your ribs. So why pick you? Because when a cat sleeps, it is not just choosing temperature. It is choosing where to become vulnerable. And that changes everything. A cat doesn't merely sleep where it feels cozy. It sleeps where its nervous system believes it can let go. That is a much deeper decision than comfort. Part 2. Your cat is both predator and prey. This is the part many humans miss. Cats are hunters, but biologically, they are not only predators, they are also small animals that have spent thousands of years surviving by staying alert to larger threats. That means your cat carries two systems at once: the system that stalks and the system that scans. Even in a loving home, those ancient circuits are still there. So when your cat jumps onto the bed beside a body many times larger than its own, curls up, closes its eyes, and enters deep sleep, something profound is happening. It has judged your presence as safer than isolation. In other words, your cat is outsourcing part of its vigilance to you. That may sound dramatic, but it fits their behavior. A sleeping cat is saying, in the quietest possible way, I can lower my guard here. That is not submission. That is not dependency. That is strategic trust. And that is why this behavior feels so intimate. Because it is. Your cat is not just near you. It is allowing your body, your smell, your presence, and your predictable patterns to become part of its survival map. If your cat sleeps touching you, on you, or pressed against your legs, comment 1 below. I want to see how many people have unknowingly become their cat's chosen safe place. And the next layer goes even deeper, because now we move from instinct into chemistry. Part 3, shared scent, is how cats create us. Humans look for love in eye contact, words, and gestures. Cats often build it through scent. When your cat rubs its face on you, kneads the blanket beside you, circles before lying down, or chooses your pillow over any other spot, it may be doing something more important than getting comfortable. It is blending scent. Cats have scent glands around the face, paws, and body. When they rub against you repeatedly, they are not only marking territory, they are building a shared odor profile, a kind of chemical signature of belonging. In plain language, your cat is making you smell like part of its world. And that matters because, to a cat, familiar scent is emotional security. This is also why your pillow, your worn shirt, or the side of the bed where you sleep can become so magnetic to them. Those places carry the richest version of you. Now add bonding chemistry on top of that. Studies suggest that calm, positive interactions between cats and their humans can influence oxytocin-related bonding systems, not always loudly, not always dramatically, but meaningfully. So, when your cat sleeps on you, it may not be performing affection in a dog way, it is doing something more subtle, more feline, and in some ways more mysterious. It is weaving you into its definition of safe familiarity. Not everybody gets that from a cat, and that's exactly why it matters. Part 4. The sound you thought was small may be regulating more than you realize. Then there's the purring. You've probably felt it before, that low vibration against your chest, your arm, your neck, sometimes so soft it almost feels imagined. But your body notices it even when your mind doesn't. Purring is often associated with contentment, but it can also appear during stress, pain, recovery, or self-soothing. That alone tells you something important. The purr is not just an emotion. It may also be a regulation tool. Some frequency ranges found in purring have been studied for their possible relationship to calm, tissue support, and reduced stress responses. We should be careful not to turn that into magic, but we also should not ignore what so many cat owners notice. They feel calmer when their cat purrs beside them, and your cat may benefit too. So, when your cat sleeps on your chest and purrs, this may be more than affection. It may be a shared regulation loop. Your breathing slows, your body softens, their body settles, and both nervous systems begin sinking into something quieter. That is why these moments feel unusually deep. You think your cat is borrowing your bed, but sometimes it feels more like your cat is changing the emotional climate of the room. If that's happened to you, comment calm below. I'd love to know how many people sleep better with a purring cat nearby. But now we get to the part that matters most, the change that should never be ignored. Part 5, when a cat suddenly stops sleeping with you. Here is the dark side of this behavior. Once a cat has built you into its nightly safety ritual, that pattern usually means something. So, if a cat who always slept with you suddenly stops, pay attention, especially if they begin hiding under furniture, choosing isolated corners, sleeping in closets, or avoiding the bed altogether. Cats are masters of concealment. In nature, visible weakness attracts danger. So when something feels wrong, pain, sickness, fear, physical decline, many cats do not become dramatic. They become distant. That is why one of the earliest warning signs is often not a cry, not a limp, not a loud symptom. It is a shift in where they place their body at night. A cat that once trusted your bed may withdraw because it no longer feels physically well enough to rest there, or because its system is under stress and it is reverting to protective isolation. This does not always mean illness. Sometimes, routine changes, temperature shifts, new pets, grief, or household tension can also change sleeping behavior. But a sudden, lasting withdrawal should never be dismissed as mood, because cats rarely explain themselves with noise. They explain themselves with patterns, and the place they sleep is one of the clearest patterns they give you. So what does it really mean when your cat sleeps on you? Yes, it may want warmth, but more than that, it may be saying, "You are familiar enough for me to relax. You are predictable enough for me to trust. You are safe enough for me to disappear into sleep." For an animal built on caution, that is not a small gesture. That is one of the highest forms of trust it can offer. So the next time you wake up barely able to move because your cat has claimed your chest, your legs, or half your pillow, remember this. Your cat did not choose the softest place in the house. It chose the place where its body believed it would be safest. And that place was you. If this changed the way you see your cat, subscribe and stay with me for the next one. And if your cat has a strange sleep habit on your chest, above your head, behind your knees, or right on your pillow, tell me in the comments. Comment part 2 if you want the next video on why cats stare at you in silence and what that slow blink really means, because that behavior is even more personal than this one.